two MCPs are all you need to make not only Claude Sonnet 4.5 significantly smarter, but pretty much any other language model you're going to be using inside of your favorite IDE editor. And so that can be anything from, if you're using Cursor, if you're using Droids, if you're using Claude Code, if you're using GPT-5's codex type of thing. And I want to go through that configuration today. And so that configuration is looking something like this. I want to show you. So the two MCPs that you need to know about is called Ref.Tools, and the other one is called Exa.ai. And so between these two MCPs, these are basically going to help your AI stay on top of everything. Because I don't know if you've ever had any issues when you're coding, especially if you're using the AI SDK or something like that. It always grabs the older documentation, even if you give it the links and stuff inside of Cursor. I've had so many moments where I'm just pulling out my hair. I'm like, that's not what I wanted. Or Claude will just tell me it knows what it's doing and kind of goes off into its own places. And so I found that using these two specific things are going to help the actual language model get this configured. And I'm going to also go through the setup, the exact little code you need to kind of get this going as well. So that's these two guys here, and we're going to be playing around inside of Cursor. And in order for you to get those configured, all you have to do is go into the settings here. And this is the new agent window. So if you're not familiar with the agent window, this is the new kind of view you have here, because typically you would just have this normal view that you're kind of looking at. And so in order to get to the agent window, you can just type in agent window. Whoops. Okay. It's basically Command E. So if you hit Command E, this will actually pop out to the new agent window, which we kind of see back here. And then that's the thing that you're kind of, hold on, we'll have it pull up here. So yeah, the agent window is basically a new view for you to actually kind of play around with Cursor. And I find that sometimes a lot easier to navigate if I'm just going to be driving a lot of my user interfaces. So all you would do is go to the gear, which you would normally see here, and then you would basically go into MCPs. And so I have a lot of different MCPs configured, but the only two that you need are the one that's called Ref.Tools and Exa.ai. So in order for you to add a new MCP server, all you do is hit add custom MCP server. And so what I'm going to go ahead and do is kind of change it out back to like my normal screen here. Because when I do this, what it actually does is it actually exposes my API key, which I don't really want to do. But let me go ahead and see if I can copy out that configuration so that you can kind of add it in, because there's a lot of API keys that are actually exposed here. And I don't really want to show those right now, but I'm going to see if I can actually paste them into like a whole brand new file or something. So one of the ways that I can do that is by going into probably like another web browser or something like that. And then kind of showing you that as well. So I'm going to go into here, and this is what I'm going to go ahead and do. I think I'm just going to go to some like paste bin or something. Paste bin. Okay. So if I paste this in here, what we have here are the MCPs that you want to get them configured with. So in here, let me just kind of make this a little bit bigger. Okay, this is a really weird interface, but this will work for now. Anyways, if you're in my Discord, I dropped a link in my announcements page, so you'll be able to copy and paste this exactly as it is. And if you're in here, if you hit try for free, in the dashboard, when we go into the dashboard, you're actually going to go to like install MCP. And so in Ref.Tools for the MCP configuration, you want to use the streamable HTTP config from Cursor. So all you would do is just basically copy this out. And then in Exa, the same way, once you go into like the dashboard and stuff to get your stuff configured, in here, when you go to like Exa MCP where it says new, this documentation will actually show us how we get this configured. So the way that kind of MCP configurations are laid out is the fact that you'll have this higher level key, and inside you'll have something that's kind of nested. So you'll see these brackets and you kind of want to respect that those brackets are there. And then inside of here, you'll have Exa and its configurations. So this is probably the most important piece, especially when you're doing it inside of Cursor. And then as you can kind of see, I just have the key here for ref. Make sure you have the comma if you're doing it between the two. And then the next one's called Exa, and you have basically your API key here. So when you get the API keys, you want to go ahead and just copy them and paste them in here for the respective platforms. And so just to give a breakdown of like what Ref.Tools does. And so Ref.Tools is going to allow us to do like a web search, but not only a web search on what's currently out there in the public internet. You can have your own private resources or your own stuff, like your own like Notion notebooks or your own private GitHub repos that you don't want exposed to the internet. And what's nice about it is that like that allows you to kind of build your software and use existing conventions. And what you'll actually be surprised to learn is the fact that how efficient it is at shipping a feature. I actually converted my app called VibeStamps to use the new AI SDK. And I want to show you the GitHub pull request because this is actually public. And you would think with this pull request that I did that how much stuff it did. Let me go to the closed one here. So I just did this the other day, and like basically one shot, I was able to kind of get everything all figured out. So, and that was thanks to these two MCPs combined together. And so as you can see, basically we updated to use the new AI Gateway from Vercel. And that basically allows you to just have one API key that has the Google Gemini, has OpenAI, has Anthropic, has everything built in, which is super awesome. The second part of it is I had to migrate from the Vercel v4 to v5. And you can see like all the new code conventions that I had to use and everything. And I just gave it basically the documentation, just not even the documentation. I said, hey, I want to do upgrade, from v4 to v5, use SDK. And it basically did this whole thing all together, just pretty much in one shot. And that's because it did a web search here. And to do this entire change and everything, including looking up all the documentation inside of Cursor and going through the entire plan and all the tool calling, it only cost me 60,000 tokens, which was kind of mind-blowing. And the problem I used to have when I had actual documentation that I would like feed it into the LLM, it would take up all that context window. So this is what's really interesting is that when you have Ref.Tools do a search, it kind of knows what specific things it wants to look for because the tool calling. And then with Exa.ai, it feeds the LLM only what it really needs. So I find those two working together to be extremely efficient at gathering context, delivering it specifically at the right time for the tool call, and executing. And I find it so much more reliable than using Context 7 because Context 7 would always kind of frequently pull the incorrect documentation for me. And so this duo together is probably like the best combination I would find for this right now in the market. So that's basically, Ref.Tools. And so it exposes a thing called Search Docs, My Docs, and it can also read URLs. And Exa also does the web search. So this new thing called Get Code Context is pretty good. So that's pretty much that. And I want to show you the plan that it created. So with Cursor, there's this new thing called Plan Mode. If you haven't done this yet, what you can do is actually go into your browser or into your actual interface here. And when you want to do a plan, you basically select this and hit plan. And this will turn yellow here. And then this is exactly the prompt that I used. I said, I want to convert this to use the new AI Gateway from Vercel, along with update the AI SDK v5. Please use Ref.Tools for the documentation search, along with Exa code and Exa MCP. I want to use the new Gemini 2.5 Pro model. And that was all the instructions I gave to Cursor. And this was using the Claude 4.5 Sonnet Max. And it's as you can see, when it's going through the tool calling here, what it did is I'll help you convert your code. First thing it did was that Vercel AI SDK v5 migration guide, and it used ref search for that. And then it made the next MCP call to Exa saying, let's go ahead and get the setup configuration. And then it did the code one as well for Gemini 2.5 Vercel AI SDK v5 integration. So this is a really cool query as far as like what it did here to get the information and come back with these types of things. So it did multiple of those tool calls, generated a plan and generated a whole to-do list. And this is the plan that it basically generated for me. And this is really great, especially if you're using plan mode inside of Cursor, because now you're letting the LLM in essence think, right? And then you as a human can review, because typically Cursor especially would just go and just start writing code, and Claude Sonnet just kind of is in the middle of like just writing code for you. But in this type of way, we basically slow it down and then allow it to use some of the other tooling to grab the most up-to-date documentation. When these language models are trained, a lot of the training runs usually finish like almost a year or plus ago. And sometimes they'll have a knowledge cutoff date of a certain region or a certain date. But at the same time, they're going to prefer a lot of data that they see over and over and over again. So it could be like v4, for AI SDK. It could be Tailwind v3 because there's way more data from Tailwind v3 in their actual knowledge set than there is of the latest stuff. And so that's where those two MCPs kind of bring us to the future. And then it prefers to use them, especially if you have some explicit instructions. So combine that with the tool calling, you have that really, really great thing. So yeah, that's kind of the way that this kind of works out there. And now basically what's really cool is if I could just go to VibeStamps.com, I already deployed this change, so VibeStamps.com, you can get an SRT file and actually generate timestamps for your live streams. So I made this basically because I always have lots of live streams that are really long. And so like, this is like a couple of hours long. There's like a whole bunch of entries in this file, and you can kind of see what it's doing here. So I want to show you real quick on Vercel. One of the cool things about the AI Gateway, which I really like, as opposed to doing these different things, is like you just select the model, just putting the text in there. That's it, which is really cool. But what's awesome about this as well is that you can actually do observability and stuff. So in the last like 24 hours, I can actually track how many tool calls have been done for a specific thing. I did not have to write this dashboard. I didn't have to vibe code this. I didn't have to set up specific listeners or anything like that. That's already built into everything that the Vercel platform provides. So Vercel will just charge you whatever the cost is to use the model. And so this is, the cost per request. And you can kind of see how, like, these are a large number of tokens that I'm passing in for a live stream. So this is the whole SRT file. So now for the 2-hour plus live stream, I have these really, really good timestamps because of this actual special methodology I've developed to generate the prompt. This is actually open source and free, VibeStamps.com. I'm paying for it, but it's actually supported from viewers like you. So people who are paying for Discord access are people who are my YouTube members. YouTube will take their cut. Everyone takes their cut. And eventually I just funnel that money back into these little projects like this because they are very helpful, but they also help me show you how this stuff works live. So if you're interested in joining the Discord, if you're on YouTube, there's a link that's pinned. It's rfer.me/Discord, and you can just go ahead and join in there. I think the price right now is basically $14.99. It's going to actually double in the next month. So starting in November, it's going to double the price. So if you want to go ahead and join in, that's kind of your best way to get in there. It's a really cool community of people who are building. So I just want to kind of get that out of the way a little bit and show you a couple of those different things. And what I want to go ahead and do is take a next step here is the next app that we're going to look at before we're going to get into things is, I don't know if you've seen this app, but it's called like Drip Me Out. And so I forked this app from my friend Mickey, who works at Convex. And you can upload a photo or take a photo of yourself and it puts a chain on you and stuff. And I said, how come, why can't we do this for like Nano Banana and do these types of things? So the last time we did was that we actually got the app updated. We added a bunch of features and things, and you could even share this out to your friends, and they could even go ahead and create their own stuff. And the last live stream, we made the ability to actually buy credits using Polar. So I connected this up with Polar in pretty much one go. I had some issues because when I was using Droid there, the documentation was sort of out of date. And then I tried to give it some URL for the documentation. It would kind of stay on track for a little while and kind of go off track again. So I didn't have these two MCPs that I'm talking about. And we're going to try to see if we can kind of get these integrated and kind of see if we can continue on. Since that update, we've also seen Claude Sonnet 4.5 come out. So there's been a lot of different updates, and there's a lot of different models we are also kind of checking into. So let me go ahead and check in with the comments and see how you guys are doing right now, because I know I just kicked off this live stream, and I've been wanting to catch up a little bit with the comments because it's been a little bit of a while. So huge shout outs to Plus Jobs. Good morning. Hey, good morning, man. What's your favorite coding agents at the moment? I think Droid is still number one at the moment. So yeah, Droid is really awesome, especially for spec mode. But recently I've been playing around with Cursor's new plan mode with the MCPs combined. And like the speed is really, really crazy. So I still have credits in my Cursor account because I pay $200 a month to Cursor. And so I want to whenever there's new features, especially when Cursor comes back out, I was like, well, I don't want to let these credits kind of burn away. So that's it's a perfect time to kind of start testing these features. So I go back and forth between them, to be honest. And I really like Droid, the interface and everything like that. And I put that inside of Cursor as well. And so I'm really curious. Like, I technically prefer the spec mode inside of Droid over Cursor, but the one in Cursor is starting to grow on me a little bit more because of how good the MCP access is. And with Droid, I'm still trying to get that configured to work correctly. And so I'm going to go ahead and work out some of those details as well. So frustrating to pay for everything, which should be there by default. Sorry, it's a hard pass. Yeah. Oh, you mean for these different types of services? Yeah. So here's the thing. Like, if you're doing stuff professionally, paying for a really good tool, especially for something like Ref.Tools, to me is well worth it. Because like, I think, let's see, Ref.Tools for the cost right now is basically $9 a month, but you get 200 credits for free. So I would just say use the credits and see if you have a better experience than what your current workflow is. If it does change your workflow in the way that it's impacted for me, the $9 a month are pretty much a no-brainer for 1,000 credits. And yeah, that's just kind of the way I work. And for Exa, it's kind of like the same thing. I think for Exa, they have pay as you go, and I don't think I've even racked up that much. I'm still on the free plan, the usage. I've done 29 searches. I don't even know spend wise. 55 cents. Cool. I've done quite a bit of searching, and it doesn't really cost that much. And the return to me is like, it feels like the models are way more intelligent because now they have the right data in the right context. And I can't tell you how much time I've spent like gathering documentation on Perplexity or ChatGPT and like gathering these large documents and then feeding them into the LLM and then using up all that token context window and then having to like split out these different documentation pieces and chunks and then give it to the LLM at the right time when it's going to deliver the feature. Like I've been like pulling my hair out over this like context management in my head, and that alone, like for my own time, like I would pay a couple $100 a month just to manage that in my head. So Droid is really interesting because like ever since that period in time compared to last year, we've had Droid come out, right? So like Droid has helped us with like the spec planning. Now Cursor's doing the plan mode as well. Like everyone's kind of getting into this plan mode because having good plan does help the LLM. But now when the LLM is doing tool calling at the specific steps that it needs information, that's where you can either guide the model to tell it to use these additional tools and to make sure it pulls the right conventions and the documentations, especially for your types of configurations. So as these LLMs get more autonomous, you want to give them the tools that they need to basically enrich the whole experience, right? Because they're just going to go off of what they're trained on. Just the FYI. And it's just kind of the way that I think about it as well. So the higher the context, the more issues you have, for sure. That's exactly it. I have a video on my YouTube channel, and when we were first coding with Claude Code, if you want to take a look at that, I have a whole experience of how the context window actually matters, and the ChromaDB paper about context rot as well, because that's also really important. So I know that people were just joining in and kind of what we're working on. I was just kind of going over the two MCPs. One's called Ref.Tools and the other one's called Exa.ai. And those two MCPs are pretty much all you need to get your coding to pretty much be at a whole nother level. And you can integrate them into, Claude Code, into the Droids, into Cursor, into Windsurf, into whatever IDE you're using, which is actually really quite convenient. So that's what's up. Big shout outs from One Pixel that says, hola. Hey, I just joined the Discord family last week. I just wanted to say I love your videos and it really helped me understand what the heck I'm trying to do. Hey, Kevin, thanks. Yeah, just go ahead and drop a comment. I'd love to see you in the Discord and kind of, hang out some more. I've been a little quiet because I've been traveling. So tomorrow I take off to Hawaii. And I'll be hanging out there for the rest of October and November. And you'll see some of the scenery kind of change behind me. So that'd be kind of fun, and we'll be kind of hanging out. So that's kind of my favorite thing to do. Did you set up any MCP with Droid? That's kind of what I tried to do earlier. And I'm going to probably try to do again after the stream today as well. So it'd be interesting to hear your take on Gosu's monthly benchmarks. So I have a podcast. Oh, that's right. I need to promote this, by the way. So youtube.com/ what is our show? It's called Rate Limited. So let me see if I can find it right now. Rate Limited podcast. Rate Limited podcast. And then I'll drop the link. We started this new podcast, which is so fire. And so this podcast here is from the three of us. And so that's Eric and Eric Preventure, who actually runs the, what do you call that? Repo prompt. And then we have Adam, aka Gosu Coder. And so this is the first episode that dropped. And if you haven't had a chance to, definitely subscribe. I'm going to put this thing in here so that you can, it's alley-oop, right? I'm going to just drop this right here. So yeah, at Ray Limited Pod is where you can find it. So we just started. This is our first video drop. We already have 5,000 views, which is I'm pretty blown away by. And we're going to have episodes every 2 weeks, and we sit down and talk about our experience using these language models. And this is a pretty cool pod. So I think this one's only 51 minutes. Obviously, the timestamps are powered by ya boy at VibeStamps.com. So you have these nice timestamps that actually can guide you through all of the different topics we talk about, because we talk a lot about a lot of different stuff. Also available on Spotify, by the way. Also available on Apple Podcasts, Overcast, and all your different podcasts as well. So you'll be able to kind of get that there. So yeah, definitely appreciate the alley-oop for sure. That was really cool. Okay. Droid specs mode have me look at the Amazon's Kiro IDE with its spec-driven development stuff. Sonnet 4.5 Kiro impressed me a bit. Let me see. Are my comments cut off? I'm just kind of curious. Okay. Oh, I see. Got it. Yeah. That's actually pretty chill. So this was this guy here. And I think what I wanted to do is like, now that we kind of have it in here, I've already have the different stuff set up. I think I've already merged this branch to main. I think, yeah. So I had a demo branch pulled aside for VibeStamps. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to put for VibeStamps that I can kind of show you a little bit of this in action. Or maybe I just might go back to Anime Studio and kind of finish up the work here, because this is, as of right now, you can basically go buy credits in Anime Studio. And if you go processing, what it does is it'll punch you out to Polar. And then in Polar, you basically just put your information and you basically can buy $5 worth of credits. And right now, $5 worth of credits is actually currently in the sandbox mode. And so in the sandbox mode in Polar, it will just actually increment the credits here. And so what's nice is I'm using Convex here for the backend as well. And so for like a user, you'll see the user here and you'll see, I think, where is the payments? Billing settings, maybe? Images, I don't remember because it's been a little while since I've done this. So check out sessions, images, payments. Yeah, payments granted for a user. Oh yeah, here we go. So in Minds, my user is called, is it here? So yeah, 839 credits. That's this guy. So I could change my credits to like 400 or something, and it should change it here in real time. So yeah, that's what's cool about Convex is just reactivity. I didn't have to do anything. I just changed it on the back. The data is changed on the back end. As soon as the payment flows through, it just automatically updates. I didn't have to, invalidate cache or anything like that. That's straight from the UI, which is amazing, right? So if I want to add credits to a user, I could just go like here and just give you 100 credits, 500, I'm done. And then like, boom, it's already done. You can say, whatever generations you need to do. So yeah, all you have to do is drop the images, and then here's the share settings. And if I wanted to delete an image like this, I should be able to delete the image, and now it's gone. So, and then if you want to share links and do stuff like that. So what's cool about it is I think right now, if I log out, we have the landing page here, and then this is kind of like the landing page, but it kind of really doesn't make sense. And I don't know about you, but like I need to change up the vibe. I need to, like, I was actually having a design session a little bit with another designer, and actually he works at Droid. And he's the one who designed all of the Droid factory stuff, and he inspired me actually. And so I think it's Pinterest. So through Pinterest, you can actually like search a lot of stuff and get like a lot of interesting design ideas, which I had no clue about. So you can just explore. I'm not really too familiar because I haven't done like a lot of design exploring, but I don't know, like as far as like vibes and things, because he doesn't really use AI to design, he just uses like whatever's like public out there. I think it's a Dribble or something. I was like learning about a whole bunch of, actually what I should probably do is just kind of bring some designers in and kind of help us kind of get this type of idea, And there's also Aura.build. So Aura.build is really cool because this is kind of where we can get a lot of really cool inspiration. Like this looks amazing. And I just want to see, like, is this my vibe? Is this my feel? This is, by the way, this is created with AI. I don't know if you know this, but this is just like, how do I get this? Look at this with my mouse. Okay, we got to do this design. I'm vibing with this right now. Made in Aura. Okay, my friend, how do I get this? I want this Remix Pro. Okay, Pro members only. Remix. Yo, fam, I think we got to drop some dimes on this because I feel like this design is fire. I know they pushed some updates recently, but Jim, let's go. Wow. I just like how clean this is. Look at this. It's like kind of oozing, and this like our cool artistic style kind of shows. And for me, I feel like I can have categories of people's images that are featured here, which would be kind of fun for my build. But yeah, let's go ahead and just keep looking through Aura.build because I feel like we can get something pretty fire here. Dang. Wow. Look at this light beam. This is so crazy. Yeah, this is really, really good. Oof. Okay, what is this? Ooh, no way. I feel like I'm in the future right now. Yo, this is crazy. Let's see what does this look like on mobile. Get out of here. Okay, I like design that kind of makes it seem very playful like this. Holy smokes. Yeah, Aura.build. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I don't think oh, this is it. These are the two actually. Let's go. Oh, I like this because it shows off more of the categories of photographs. Okay. Oh my goodness. What is this? Oh, I love this. This is what my homepage needs to be about. Oh, wow. Okay, this. Dang, bro. This is made with AI? What is this? I feel like I'm in a magazine right now. Okay. Oh my. Okay, this definitely looks like it's made with AI, just like a default boy. Like we went like super 10 over here, and then over here we're just kind of like, yeah, just kind of like that. But I'm not gonna. Okay, so the one I'm impressed by is this. How do I do this? I want this. This is ridiculous. Yo, CryDevs, what's going on, man? So right now what we're doing is we're trying to drip out my site right now. So what we got going on is we have this thing where we can basically upload using the banana thing, and it'll like take an item and actually transform it and turn it into like an anime object, which is kind of cool, right? Like, so it's like sort of this faux reality thing. So my paddle that I have for paddling is now turned into this really cool drawing. So it's kind of like handing it to a friend. He's kind of like drawing over the picture. Obviously I'm wearing the Vision Pro, and it's kind of like really kind of anime, super extra. And here's my dog, you know, sitting there. She has a little Christmas, you know, scarf, and you can kind of see the scarf, the real one down below, but it has like the extra things with the little music and stuff on it. It's kind of cute. And what's cool is that like you can actually start, you know, doing these types of things. But I'm looking to see if I can actually update my landing page to be so fire like this, so people go and they're like, I want the feeling to be like, what is this? You know, this type of thing. So that's kind of what I'm kind of looking at. So yeah, low-key looks like a framer template, but this is Aura.build. And I want to see if I can grab some of this code and see if we can have like Claude Sonnet kind of flip this, if you know what I mean. That'd be super crazy. So yeah. As far as like Polar versus Stripe though, real quick, what I like Polar for is because it's the merchant on record. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever had like a lot of international transactions, once you reach a certain threshold, then you have to like pay taxes in that specific region. And that can kind of be a pain in the butt to manage, especially once you get like more than, you know, X amount of users. And so Polar kind of handles that for you. And that's kind of good. But like they take a fee for being that type of thing. You have all these different varieties. You have like Lemon Squeezy, you have Polar, you have a lot of different providers, and they range from like adding 1% on top of Stripe to like, you know, 10+% like Gumloop or something like that, or Gumroad. So that's the kind of ranges that you're in. And I find Polar to be easiest because of like the SDK. There's not a lot of like webhook back and forth. You know, you just import their stuff, add it in, and you have like a whole checkout. It's pretty fast. Integration with Convex is kind of a dream, really, to be honest, because Convex is running the function, and then, you know, the whatever handler that comes in for the return, it just updates everything. And I'm pretty good. Like I can't believe like I set up basically Polar in like a couple prompts, which was pretty awesome actually. But yeah, I prefer Polar for that. Polar has a dashboard, and it's specifically geared for me for managing like my customers there. So like Stripe is good. It has a lot of little details. Like if you want to go in really crazy with all the details and stuff, that's really cool. And I have both, by the way. I have Stripe, I have Polar. And so for me, it's just kind of understanding like what use case really works for you. It's worth looking into if you haven't had a chance to. And that's kind of, you know, for going forward for a lot of my projects, I just prefer by default to use Polar because it's like, you know, less kind of red tape, not red tape, but like just kind of easy to get this set up. So let's figure out how we can get this type of selection thing in my app and see if I have to like drop some dimes on this, because design like that is just really hard to find. So which one was this here? Okay, so made in Aura. How do I get this design? So can I, what is this? Star? Hold on. Go back. Is it this one? It's probably this one, huh? Popular Animation Pro? No. Let's see. I'm going to go back. It's this one, I think, Pro. Yo, dang. So can I, yeah, let me see if I could sign in real quick because that'd be really crazy. So yeah, I'm going to see if I could sign in and then kind of take it from here. I don't know if I have a Pro account or not. I don't think so. And then see if I may have to upgrade my account. So yeah, here we are in like the default like settings here. Once I've signed in, you could do like, it looks like there's a prompt builder. So the prompt builder will take us through a specific layout or one specific type of thing that we want to build. And so we can just do like an onboarding if we wanted to, or docs or updates. And then this will actually build the prompt that we want. And then that's what we paste into, you know, like a specific template or something like that. So we should be able to search like a template gallery. Like if we wanted this specific thing here and we wanted to do, you know, whatever we wanted to do, like make a portfolio, make a sidebar, you know, for example, we just want to do like a full frame type of thing. This is kind of what we'd use. So I think this is prompt builder. I'm just gonna go ahead and reset. Okay. And let's see, what else do we have here? I want to do this. I think it was this one, right? Remix. Can I remix this one? Let's see. Current plan is free, 5 daily AI messages, and then Pro is popular. So, okay. Buy credits, buy now. Let me see if I can get a free one just to kind of understand how this works. Is there any free ones? Templates. And we go to this month. Popular? Let's see. All types, mine, Pro. No? Free? I think they have free, right? I don't know. Creative AI? This one looks free. I'm just curious. Yo, this is... Who does this? Okay, this is really cool. View... Oh my gosh. This is really, really fire. Okay. So how do I do something with this? It's not really clear. Get started? Hold on. Go back. I think I have to hit remix, right? Yo, these are kind of crazy. If I hit remix here, okay, base prompt, remix full template. Yeah, sure. No. I think I should get one that I really like to remix, you know? What is this? Oh my gosh. These are kind of mind-blowing. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie, this is crazy. Hold on. What's this next studio? This is so crazy. Wow. I like this dark theme, which is really cool, the feel. Something like this is really cool. I like these full screen blurry type things because, but like, you know, we got to think about the anime studio. Like the anime studio vibes is not really like kind of future frosty type of thing. As much as I like that stuff, I think it's more playful, fun, kind of bright, kind of like this, you know, bubblegum like. Because I feel like I don't want to cross, the vibes have to be really kind of on point. Like this kind of is super clean. And I think it's a little too clean and too like stark, like with the fonts too. Because the fonts are a little too like, I don't know. There's this like kind of trend right now with like fonts where they're just too clean. And I kind of want to go the other direction, right? Like I want to have like actual like calligraphic. And that's what you see in the Nano Banana stuff. And that's what I'm trying to like kind of bring out a little more. It's kind of like the human element. So like the wispy drawings, taking a photograph and kind of drawing on top of it, like more fun and playful. And I'm just really curious to see if I can find something that is in that direction, because this stuff is a little too stiff, right? Like too like, despite the rounded corners and stuff, despite all these things, I feel like this is kind of overdone now, bro. Like we're done with the Apple era. We're done with the Apple era. No. I mean, like, you know what I mean? I think people know what I mean, right? Let me know in the chat. Like, are you guys kind of done with some of this? Like, really just, I don't know about like, I like this. This one's fire, but like this one does not fit the Anime Studio vibes. Let's see. It's not going to load. Come on. Oh, hold on. I think I crashed the site. Yeah. Like this is cool. This is so stark though for the Anime Studio vibes. So yeah. Let's go back here. Let's see. I need something this is kind of like the font is getting in that direction a little bit here because it's a little more playful. Yeah. Yo, Mr. Frank, man. You've been a member for 10 months. Holy smokes, man. Apple era is over. The app, it's the Ray Vibe era for sure, man. For sure. Yeah. Can you check out my portfolio after I'm done with it, please? Yo, are you yeah, if you can drop the link in on YouTube or something like that. I don't know if they allow the URLs, but I'd love to check it out for sure. I want to see your portfolio. Let's see. All items are loaded. Is this all the templates we got? Components? Let's go look at some components. Maybe I'm just looking for components, if you all know what I mean. I think that's probably what I'm looking for right now. What is this? Bro, these guys are cooking, man. Holy smokes. Design that moves. Oh, wow. Dang. What is... Man, people are really cooking some cool stuff on here. Wow. Okay. Because this does what? If you click this, nothing? Okay. I'm just really curious. Yeah, I'm just looking through designs right now. I'm trying to get inspired by something for my landing page because this... How do you do this? Can I do this with photographs? Okay. I like this, but the frosty thing is interesting. Let me see if I can play around with this. This is... Ooh! Oh! We could even... Okay, so this doesn't work in like mobile mode because you can see how it kind of doesn't respect that, but that could be fixable. Dang, this is nice. I like it. Yeah. Huh. Oh, wow. Whoa. Okay, I like this actual component. This is beautiful. Can we just go back? Okay. Nice. Full animated background with Aura. What is this one here? Yeah, sometimes like you have to kind of how do I get this background? I want this in my app. I don't care. Whatever. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get this. Oh, this is fire. Code? Oh, okay. This is a premium component upgrade. Baby, I got to pay. You know what I say? Like, I've heard this thing. I've heard this before. Okay, they're making me pay. I'm about to pay up right now because I think this is a bag. So I think I'm just going to go for this Pro one because that's the one they keep saying. And so we get 120 messages, no daily limits, all the Aura images, all the Pro templates, export to Figma, all these templates. Let's go, fam. Yeah, I think we got to do this, man. I'm all about supporting like designers and people who do this type of stuff, especially if they made an effort to compile it into this type of thing. And I think we're just scratching the surface on this website because you can take this and prompt it and reprompt it and add a bunch of other things to it. So we're kind of exploring together. I'm more kind of interested in kind of going into this design realm. And so let me go ahead and just do the checkout stuff real quick here so we can subscribe. Oh, I see. So it's $200 for the year. Let's go. Full send. It's going to send a verification code to my phone number. Let me see if I got it real quick, and then I'll do that real quick. So yeah, I appreciate everyone's patience while we're going through this. Let me go ahead and check the comments. Can you check out my AI platform? What is your AI platform? Like, noise. Yeah. This is what we're cooking with, the voice. Yeah. So let me just check it out real quick. I need to make sure I got my... So the thing sometimes with Do Not Disturb is when you have like these different things set up, because I have a new phone too, I'm not signed into all my different apps and stuff. So I got to get that signed in. So have you guys played around with the new iPhone, like 17 or whatever? If you haven't a chance, it's pretty awesome. Let's see if I can do this right here. Okay, so you're signing up to get all those designs for a whole year. Yeah, pretty much. But not only that, but besides the designs, like also the like all the pro features and stuff like that. So let's see. Let me just type in this code here. 7. Yeah. So what's the case on the iPhone? Yeah, the iPhone case is actually just the default Apple one. It's just the orange one. So let's see. Subscribe. Let's go. Yeah. And so, yeah, for those who don't know, if you have the regular, like this is the regular iPhone, and then this is like the orange case on it. And so combined together, it kind of, you know, does its thing. I would love to just rock this by itself, but I'm really curious. Do I have any scratches so far? Oh, what? Okay, so I don't know if you know, but on the corner here, I have the case on it and everything. And it looks like it's low-key scratched. Let me see if I can kind of get rid of my eyes. On the corner, right here. That's crazy. Is it just dust? No, it's, I guess, oh, it's dust. But I'm curious. It's, you know what it is? It's probably sand from the beach. Oh my God. So yeah, this thing is like super sensitive to like the aluminium or whatever, the aluminum. I say aluminum, but y'all from England say aluminium. And so I respect the Johnny Ive aluminium. So that's why I say sometimes aluminium. Oh, speaking of which, I got to meet Johnny again and got to hang out at the OpenAI Dev Day briefly after his talk. And also got to see Sam Altman and talk to Greg Brockman, which is super fire. Oh, sweet. Check it out, yo. We paid up. Let's go. All right. We're about to get in this thing. So let's go return to celebrate. What if I hit celebrate? Oh, that's cute. I like how playful they are. So they have this thing. If you just click celebrate, it just like, I'm making it rain, y'all. Okay, let's go return to homepage. Yeah, let's go. Okay, cool. So we're back. If I wanted to, I could flip this whole design. I want to go check out that component though. There's this cool What is all this? This is ridiculous right now. Oh my goodness. I want this. Yeah, $200 USD, pay up. But it's 200 for the year. So 16.6, whatever it is for whatever it is. For me to get this type of design, this is going to be really interesting to kind of play around with. But so not only do you get these designs, but we also get the prompt using their AI prompter, and then we can flip these different things. So like if I wanted a different type of pattern or something, I should be able to do that as well. I'm still getting familiar with this, but I've seen this all over like my feed and stuff, but like this is crazy. So if I wanted to customize this, I can just go like change the primary color or something like that. What can I do? Just curious. Reset. Okay. So to do the code, they have like an inline JavaScript that they set up for this type of thing. Yo, this is crazy. And I should just be able to paste this back into my app. So yeah, let's go ahead and go back to, let's go to the right app, I think, because I don't think I'm in the right app right now. So let me just make sure I'm in the right app. So I'm going to get rid of this guy for now. And then I'm going to open up the right actual app in Cursor. So I'm going to go open up recent. I'm going to open up the drip me out one. We'll see. All right, fam. So am I in the right branch? Let's see. Just want to make sure this is all set up here. Tower. Okay, cool. So right now, what I have set up is on my main branch in this app. I'm going to just go ahead and create a new one. I'm just going to say create a new branch and call it feature landing page. Like what I'm going to do is check out a new branch. And in this new branch, we're going to just kind of work on some of our code changes here. And so this is kind of what I was talking about and where we had these MCP setups. So now that we have the MCP setup, we have Ref.Tools, we have Exa.ai. And then this is kind of where we're just going to see if we can click with Claude Sonnet here, right? So just kind of by default, if you're using Cursor, this is kind of the thing here. It should know a little bit of my layout of my page, but this is kind of what's really interesting. I want to play around real quick with the Cheetah model. I haven't really got to use it, but let's just see if we can ask the new Cheetah model, because apparently it's supposed to be really fast, a little bit about our repo. So I'm going to say something like, I'm wanting to update my landing page to incorporate this specific design. Can you look through my code base and understand where we can do that? Because I want to make sure that I'm using the latest versions of Tailwind CSS, and eventually we'll have to hand this instructions off to planning agents. So any work that you can do to grab relative code snippets and look at this from an architecture perspective can really help us out a lot. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is like, here is the code snippet I want to incorporate. And so what I do here is I'm going to use these little backticks. So these backticks act as like little delimiters. And that basically tells the language model that this is a piece of code that I want you to kind of reference. And so that way it doesn't try to like actually read through the code and either put it into a specific thing. And so it's a really great way to kind of delineate or make these specific markers here. So I pasted the code from Aura. I'm asking Cheetah to kind of look through the code. And it's going to say, I'm going to give it these explicit instructions. I'm going to say, just as a reminder, I just want you to help me with this plan here. I don't want you to actually execute anything. Actually, you know what I should be doing? I'm going to copy and paste this out. I'm going to go back into I think it's called the plan, Command E, I think. Yeah, here we go. All right, cool. This is what we're going to do. We're going to use the new agent window. So if I hit Command E, we're now in this new agent window. I'm going to get rid of this little side thing. And I'm going to change it from agents to, I don't think plan mode works with Cheetah. Yeah, that's the only problem. See, the plan mode doesn't work with Cheetah as of now. So Cheetah is supposed to be like the super fast model. And so we're going to go to Cheetah. We're going to be cheating on Cheetah. Anyways, so I'm just going to tell it again at the very end here. Okay. Just as a reminder, I just want you to help me with this plan here. I don't want you to actually execute. I don't want you to actually write the code. Okay. Sweet. So with this type of thing, apparently it's supposed to be super duper fast, like ridiculously fast. And we're seeing Cheetah just start to fly through our code. I'm really curious. For a fast model like this, I heard that the model isn't really good at writing the code, but if you're asking it to go retrieve code and do tool calling, I think this is probably going to be one of the best use cases for this. It's already done. Let's go. This is crazy. This is absolutely bonkers, actually. So here's my thinking, and I don't know if you're thinking this at the same time. With the Cheetah model, now that we've primed the context and grabbed all these different files and stuff, can I just turn on plan mode and go to Claude 4.5 Sonnet with my Exa MCPs and start to just tell it more specifically what it should be planning for us to do? Because like if we have a really good model that's fast like that and just rip through an entire code base just in one shot, we should have everything we need to kind of incorporate this type of thing. So let me know what you're thinking right now. Let me kind of catch up with the comments because y'all are killing it right now. So where do you get that model? That's actually currently inside of Cursor only. And so Cursor has this new model called Cheetah. It's like one of these stealth models. And so the model, everyone was saying either it's like Gemini's new model. I know I made a tweet about it saying it's Gemini, just trying to riz all of Cursor or all of Twitter and so forth like that. People were saying it's Claude, whatever it is. Whatever this model is, it is just absolutely blazingly fast. And that's kind of what we're taking a look at that. So you shall give me 1 million years of Cursor. I don't know what that means. Hey, I'm looking at the podcast. You guys are doing great. I appreciate that, man. That's really, really cool. So yeah, let's see what's going on here with this. So I just want to read through. So after we're using the new agent window, so this kind of lets us focus on what the agent is doing. So it read through all the different packages and kind of already knew about them, which is great. Checking Tailwind configuration and then checking these different components and stuff. And so now it even made a to-do list. Holy smokes. Planning to integrate using Tailwind CSS, app router, background styling. Okay. And then recommended approach. So I want to see if it's really good at MCP tool calling to make sure that we're using the latest stuff as well, because Tailwind CSS compatibility. Okay. I want you to use the Exa MCP and the Ref.Tools for search to make sure that we're following the latest Tailwind v4 conventions and all the existing conventions in our app, because we don't want to generate new code. We want to make sure that we have the right plans for these types of things. I want you, so yeah, I want to see if Cheetah can rip through this. If not, I'll just go back and change this. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Dang, that's amazing. Okay, so now that it has some of this context about what we're trying to do, I'm just giving this the tool calling that this is crazy. So now it's going to use ref to look at the Tailwind CSS Z index basic example. Yes, this is awesome. So this is the type of thing that I like to have these MCPs used for. It's like, I don't trust that Cursor is going to proactively search this way and give like these types of examples. But these language models are the ones that are really kind of doing some of the heavy lifting work here. So verified against these findings, positioning patterns, and then the component structure. And now we have the compatibility. So the classes used, the integration points, implementation plan is something like this for AI Aura background, integration with Hero Gallery demo, verification. Okay, cool. So this looks pretty cool. And if I go into plan mode now, and if I now change it to Sonnet 4.5, cool. Based off this research, I want you to help me integrate this component into our landing page because I want this to work for desktop, mobile, tablet, and pretty much all sizes. And so now I'm handing this into plan mode and then using Claude Sonnet 4.5 with a little brain that's extended thinking. And we still have, was it 45% of the context window use? And I'm just really curious to see what's going to happen next. Because I've never done a handoff from like Cheetah, the stealth model, into a plan mode. And I'm really curious to see what Cursor is going to do here. So based on the research, I have a few questions to clarify with the implementation details. Where should the Aura background appear? Only on the landing page hero section? Yes. Okay. I love these clarification questions because I can't tell you how many times these language models have just gone off the deep end and just kind of gone to update everything. And it's like, oh, you waste so much tokens. But if you clarify this up front, especially in a plan like this, this is the key here. So let's go back here. One, I'm going to say only on the landing page hero section is where we want the Aura background to appear. And then for two, I'm going to say, should the Aura background scroll with the content or stay fixed? I think the Aura background should stay fixed. In fact, I want to redesign the landing page because I don't think the scrolling thing makes any sense anymore. Just to give you a feel for this, we basically are trying to showcase some of the existing images that are featured here. And I'm noticing that not even all the featured images are being shown up. So if you kind of also help me look into that, that would be super helpful. So now I'm just giving it this completely complex, crazy thing. And I'm really wanting to see how intelligent is Claude Sonnet 4.5, especially in this new planning mode. Can it sort of take a redirection here, right? So like, as I'm talking about this with another like agent, right, in this specific agent window, this is helping me clarify what I really want out of my software. I don't know about you, but like, I don't just go into this knowing everything I want to know. It's a continual process. And this is kind of why I've always enjoyed coding with AI, because as I'm doing things, I always think about other ways that I can do things and kind of think more creatively, right? And sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I should probably do something else. And that's kind of why I want to have this conversation with it. And these language models understand language, so they should probably also understand my intent. And I do find like, especially Claude Opus to be the most like understanding of my own intent, and it'll kind of think through things a little bit more. So the test here is in plan mode with Cursor. Can it, with 4.5, if it's as good as Opus, should it be able to take this and kind of work through it? So let's kind of see how that kind of turns out for us. And should the background interact with the scroll animation, static through, yes, the background should interact with the scroll animation, mostly through when the user is kind of maneuvering things around. But to my earlier point, we were trying to figure out maybe a better layout for featuring these gallery images, because I really kind of want a really clear intent for the users to take action and start creating. And then it's asking something about mobile. Use the same background. Okay. For mobile, we can just use the same background effect at full intensity. And if we need to tune any parameters, we can probably do that into the future, because most phones are really capable these days. Okay, so then let's go ahead and send over this plan. And we're using 4.5. And I want to see how good Cursor is at the plan mode to kind of understand these new intents and these new directions. So now it's going to say, I need to understand a bit more about the redesign direction. See, it actually picks it up. This is really cool. This is really cool. So for the landing page, would you prefer to keep the scroll animation fixed, but featured images bug, or add background? Keep the scroll animation with a static hero or gallery, or replace scroll animation with carousel slider showing featured images or something else. Okay. Okay. So for the landing page, I'd say, let's see, keep the scroll animation, but the fixed, no. Static hero and grid gallery below. Replace scroll animation with cursor carousel. I want to do option C, where like the main image is kind of really big and the rest of them are a little bit smaller. So when they click the next image, it kind of animates into the big image. And perhaps maybe we can do something really fun where it's kind of like this dock at the bottom with all these different images. And then if a user clicks an image, it kind of shows up on the like really big for the hero on like the right-hand side, and maybe on the left-hand side will just be like the text and so forth. So it'd be kind of like a really cool interactive hero gallery page, if you know what I mean. I don't know if I know what I mean, but yeah. But basically, I should probably draw it out and kind of take a picture, but I'm really curious to see what it lands on. So for the featured images issue, should we show all featured images in a grid, no limit, or specific number? Okay. We should just show a specific number like 12 with some pagination. That way we don't slow the app down and that everything will just kind of work really, really fast. And then for the call to action, where should start created button be? For the call to action stuff, it should probably be on the left-hand pane. So as far as the hero, I'm thinking kind of like a 2-pane layout. So the left pane would be the text, the call to action, and so forth. And on the right side of that column would be the featured image. And then if they click the arrow, they'll see like the gallery kind of scrolling through as far as like an image they can select. So below that will be the rest of the images for the gallery, and they can click them and it'll just kind of show up there in the main hero view. Okay, sweet. So let's go ahead and send this across. So we're kind of doing like a big redesign here, and we're using Cursor's plan mode. And we've started out with Cheetah to grab a lot of relevant files. And then now we're handing this off to Cursor's basically Claude Sonnet 4.5. And what it's doing now is going to generate a plan for us that's fairly comprehensive, I'd say, because it's asked us quite a bit of questions for clarifications, and it has a lot of really good context, including those MCP tool calls in the background for grabbing like information about Tailwind and the specific classes, including that code snippet that was really cool as far as like a background design. And I'm really curious to see how this is really going to turn out, because this is, wow. Interesting that it's actually writing code in here. So wait, what MPC is the search one? So MCP one is called Ref.Tools, Ref.Tools. That's here. And so Ref.Tools, yeah, Ref. And then the other one is called Exa.ai. So Exa.ai are the tool MCPs that you want to get configured. It searches through everything super fast, and you can even have your own private stuff here as well. So not only public documentation, but you can also upload your private documentation. And then it's basically available wherever you have agents, you know, whether it's Claude Code, your desktop, whatever other types of things, which I find super duper helpful. And so, yeah, that's kind of it right here. Yeah. So are they paid? Yes. So you get like 200 searches with Ref.Tools. And so if it doesn't work out for you, you don't really lose anything. But if you do pay, I think $9 a month, you get like 1,000 or plus more searches. So far, I haven't really used that much, but depending on what you're doing, to me, it's like as a tool, it's extremely, extremely helpful. With Exa, I've done a lot of searches and it's only cost me like 59 cents or something like that. So it's also not that much as well. Is there? Yes. So I find it as an alternative to Context 7. In fact, I prefer these two tools working together compared to Context 7, because Context 7 for me hasn't been as reliable as these two tools for grabbing all of the relevant context. And for me, it just feels like it's way smarter in this way. So we have a crazy plan right now that we've cooked up. Holy smokes. Wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Holy. So we have a landing page interactive hero redesign. So replace the scroll animation hero on the left side with CTA on the right side. Large hero image clickable. Yes, with add Aura background. Current issues, featured images bug, right? And then we have some scroll animation components that we're going to be adding in as well. Here's some implementation steps about adding it in. Let's go. This is crazy. So redesign the hero gallery component. This is great with the fallback images. Let's go. This is nice. So this is the new agent window, by the way, in Cursor. And I like this view because it's just way less distracting. It's like, let's just focus on getting this shipped. This is such a great view. I feel like this is the vibe code era 2.0 of like actually interacting with your agents, but being really intentful. Wow, this is cool. So the key changes here are what it's going to remove. It's going to add the 2 columns, which is what I was talking about. This is looking great. Styles if needed. So there's updating the global utilities if we need this at all, but we probably won't. Clean up unused components. Love this. No longer used. Okay. Fire. Like even has so performance considerations. Dang, this is crazy. Bro, okay. If we one-shot this feature, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself right now. Are you guys even ready for this in the chat? Like, let me know. Light it up right now. Also, are you building, like, what are you building with? Have you tried Cursor's plan mode? Did you realize it was like this good? Because I've been using spec mode in Droid and I think super like, I don't know, like super Droid pilled, but it's really good because I still have some credits with Cursor, like to pop over here and see what they're doing. And damn. Wow. Okay, so we have some to-dos and we could even update these things so we can add them in here, or like, this is crazy. Create Aura background, redesign, add a scroll bar. Oh, I love this interactivity. And so another thing that you may not know is if you hit this little save to workspace, what this will do is actually create a whole like folder in here inside of Cursor for our plans. So let me just go ahead and do that right now to show you what this looks like. So if I hit save to workspace, what this will do now is we'll see dot cursor up here. It says turn green plans, and this puts this plan in here. So in the future, if you want to reference this, update this, or do anything, you can just go up here and hit build, right? We can, you know, this is actually showing us the preview. So this is actually in Markdown, but if we want to go to see the Markdown, you can just see the full on Markdown there. And so that's the way that we can kind of do this. So if I'm back into the agent window over here, if I like everything, which I do, we can even expand the plan. We can just go ahead and hit build. So whatever model you have selected here is what you would use to build. For example, if I wanted to select, you know, GPT-5 or Codex, like the Codex model, I can select that and hit build. And then all of a sudden we'll start building with the Codex model. And so one of the reasons why I'm going to use Claude Sonnet 4.5 right now is the fact that like with this type of model, it's like super fast. And with these 2 MCPs, I think I have enough of it to like kind of guide to create everything we need to do. And the second part, why I like Claude Sonnet typically over GPT-5 is it's really good at UI UX design. So whenever we're dealing with these like ambiguity, these issues of how to implement certain things to make it feel better, I find that Claude Sonnet more often than not or Claude Opus understands how to kind of solve some of these problems for layout and these types of things over GPT-5. GPT-5 wants me to be extremely descriptive. Otherwise, it'll just make something that's kind of like dry feeling or very sharp or very kind of cold. So I'm going to go ahead and stick with 4.5 and we're just going to see how this rolls out because I think this would be really cool to see what happens here. So we have Sonnet 4.5 selected. Let's go ahead and hit build. I can hit anyone. I like to hit this one here. So we're just going to let it cook. So right now we have 1 million tokens in the context window. And the way the cursor works is once you cross that 200,000 token context window threshold, they're going to bill you at that updated rate for that type of thing. Since I have the Ultra plan, all of these credits are included in my plan, but now we're just going to watch it pretty much cook. So as of right now, Cursor is using this. This is the new agent window. And so this is basically dropping in the code into my components. And as this is actually going through, you know, creating the code for us, we're only focused like specifically on this agent window, which is really nice. So if we want to see the code in these other places or see these other plans, we can tab through them up here at the very top. Or over here, if you're seeing like the edited hero background, I can actually review the code that's being dropped in by the agent right now. So it's actually going through my hero gallery component and actually kind of removing these types of things. And it's kind of, you know, writing these things. So now it's reading this file. Now it's actually editing here. And if I want to undo something or I can stop it, I can kind of interact with it here right on the fly. So this makes it really nice to kind of do these types of things here. So now it's actually running the build. Is it already done? Are we already done shipping our app? That'd be kind of crazy, actually. So yeah, but there's a bunch of to-dos here. So let's see what to-dos we're at. So as of now, we're basically have to create the background. Then we redesign the hero gallery demo. And then we add the scroll bar and these other types of things. So yeah, we're still got some progress to go. And we've interacted with 3 files. As of now, for the first phase, it's already kind of created its own phase to check the build to make sure whatever code it wrote is still on point. So as of now, the first implementation is complete. And then it created this step here. So now it's going to go ahead and ask us to test. So test the responsive behavior and verify the background displays correctly. And then we can kind of see these types of things. So in order to do that, I'm going to see if I can load up the terminal. Actually, bun dev, and then see if I can kind of load this up here. So we should be able to load this here. I'm just curious now. Dang, this is crazy. What? What did we just cook? Yo. Wow. This is crazy. Oh, this is pretty fire, actually. Dang. Really? Wow. Okay, so we have to fix this font, obviously. But look at this background. It's kind of cool. All right, so like, let me just give it this screenshot as of where we're at so far. Okay, let me just turn. Okay, cool. That's a good screenshot. So I'm gonna go back to cursor. I'm just gonna drop this screenshot over here and say, so far so good, but we're having some issues with the actual text. As you can see, it's black text with black, and it doesn't really stand out too much. Also, the header is kind of a different color, and it doesn't feel like it fits in, if you know what I mean. I also want you to do an in-depth design review here for yourself and kind of let me know what you're seeing, and then we can work together on seeing what the best step forward here is from here on out. Okay, so I've given it the screenshot, I've given it this feedback, and then we're gonna see what the cursor agent, is gonna do now with Claude Sonnet 4.5. And so yeah, it's kind of like iterating here. I don't know, this is a really amazing experience. So you get everything you normally get from the agent window by, if you go back and you hit, if I wanted to just snap back and undo all the code, I can pretty much do that right here, right now. This is wild. So what does it say right now? Let's see, let's read this here. Snake game feeling warm, cook it, ship it. Bro, yeah, there's no snake games here, bro. No, we don't do that stuff here, bro. Yeah, people be spending all these tokens to ship snake games. I don't be doing that. All right. So let's go. Let's see. Visibility crisis, header consistency. Okay. Yes, that's right. Layout spacing, Aura background integration. Okay. So here's a few paths for proposed solutions. A light text on dark, light dark container on dark. Keep the dark Aura. A modify Aura background. Reduce opacity of the Aura background. The cleanest, most dramatic starry background, glowing state, nighttime feel that actually feels like Studio Ghibli Magic Vibe. Is it? Yeah. Make a header. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. That sounds good. Let's go ahead and go with option A. That's awesome. Gemini 3.0, bro. No. Oh, man. Do you find that Exa specifically better than Talvi or Perplexity, just Cursor's inbuilt web tool? If so, why is the difference? So I find it for a couple different reasons. One is Exa gives the stuff in Markdown. And then the second part of it is with their new code specific search is that it doesn't flood the context window with a ton of files. So the problem I had with Perplexity is I would give it too many tokens. And so that made it extremely inefficient. So with Exa, they have a specific, their MCP is tuned. It's called like use Exa code. That specific MCP that when you set up just by default will come with your search to grab those documents. It's actually kind of what makes it super powerful for coding. So one, it's really fast. Two, it doesn't flood the context window and it knows specifically how to work with the agent. So now when you have the agent that's handing off requests over to Exa, that's what I find extremely powerful and helpful here. So yeah. Did you see the new browser tool from Cursor already? It's pretty cool for debugging. Oh, yes. I still need to do that, actually. I should have done that. There's a little browser tool up here. Thank you for reminding me, by the way. We can toggle the browser on, Robin. That's a really great advice here. So maybe I might do that for my next request. That'll be super helpful than like handing it over screenshots. Yeah. Are my messages going through? What did you actually say? I didn't see anything else. I I think I just see, can you give me a mod? This is kind of the most recent one I see. It's going to be a bang if it comes to yeah, this is really crazy right now. I can't believe how fast we are cooking with this model. This is crazy. Okay, so what did it do for us? So we have the fixes here. Okay, let me just rebuild the site. I think we're good. Okay, let me just quit with this, Command K. Oh, let me go back. Let's go. Oh, there it is. What? This is kind of wild right now. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, wow. Hey, this is clean. Wow. Start creating. This is crazy fire right now. Wow, let me log in. I'm blown away. It may have been a simple, I don't think it was that simple, to be honest. I've struggled a lot with like design and stuff. And part of the reason why I even like signed up for the whole thing is because like now that I like this kind of landing page, I want to transform the rest of my app, right? So like I feel like I want to make sure that we're done with all of our different iterations in Cursor, but that's crazy cool. Like to me, it's very appealing. It's very simple and everything we have here. So, right. So I'm just going to keep all these changes. And I don't know about you, but there's this new pane on the side that actually shows you like where all these changes have landed. So all the changes that we have landed in the global CSS file, which is the scroll bar utilities, the page.tsx. So in here, we basically updated the header component. Let me see if I can kind of remove this on the side. Oh yeah. So we have this guy here. I'm going to move this, just kind of scrolling through. And then these little arrows, or the green and the reds, show the diffs. So this is kind of what it's been kind of showing here as far as like what the code has changed. What else do we have here? This is gorgeous. Wow. So now we have a credit purchase modal. Okay, cool. So a lot of the diffs come from kind of updating this up here. Okay. And what are the diffs we have? For the components, we changed the landing page to fix the Aura background with the two column. Oh, this is gorgeous. Wow. Okay. So I want to check these changes in. So to check these changes in, typically, what would I have to do? I would just go into here and go to this little type of thing. I hit the little plus, and then I hit these little stars. So these little stars basically generate the commit message for me. And what's nice about it is, I don't know if you remember that plan that we made. This is also going to get checked in as well. So that's really helpful, especially if you want to reference something in the past. And I'm going to go ahead and hit commit. So I'm going to publish this branch so that we have this published. And that's just run build, just to make sure we have everything already kind of built up and so forth. So that's pretty fire. Yo, what's going on? Oh, it's Lua hosting, then XYZ at the end. Oh, I know what's going on, Cry Devs. If you give me a URL, I think what is happening if you give me a URL, what YouTube does is basically it blanks it out. So I think it's more for like spam protection. So I don't really know what this URL is, but I'll have to check this. What I'll do is probably check it after the stream, and then that way, I don't kind of mess up anything that's going on. And then from then on forward, we kind of, like I can talk about it for the next stream. So are you on the Discord as well? It'd be kind of cool to have you in the community if you haven't had a chance to sign up. Check the link. It's like actually pinned in the description and stuff. I cooked a journaling app cooler that day one from a template you posted a couple months ago. Dude, Virat, I'd love to see it, man. Yeah. Man, I missed 75 minutes of this show. You're cooking with excitement. I'm currently cooking with something big. Would love to try Cursor. Currently on Claude Code directly, though. Yeah, man, I know Cursor has made a lot of updates, and the plan mode was the one I'm most interested in, and the Cheetah model was the one I was really, really interested in playing around with. And so we use those two models, or Cursor itself, but the Cheetah model to help us kind of dig through the code super duper fast. Cheetah is incredibly fast at doing this. The second part was incorporating those two MCPs I talked about earlier. One was Ref.Tools and the other one was Exa.ai. And so those two combined are really good at like basically searching through documentation, but not flooding the context window like you normally have with other MCPs. That's the big problem sometimes these days. If you give it too much documentation, it gets confused. So Exa is really good. the Exa code. They have a new Exa code model. That one is going to grab all the relevant information specifically for the agents. So that way you're not kind of making the agent kind of lose its mind, if you know what I mean. So I've been able to ship features in less than like 70,000 tokens or less using those two MCPs combined, because you would think adding an MCP would actually kind of flood everything. It's part of the reason why I haven't really used them for a long time. But now I'm a huge fan of these specific two, and huge shout outs by Robin. So Robin Ebers, if you don't see him, it's called, I think it's by Robin or something like that. He's the one that started using those, and I started incorporating them. I was like, those are A+ MCPs, man. Those are really, really good. And if you add them into Cursor or add them into Droid, if you add them into Claude Code, if you add them into Codex, it makes your level of like coding with those models that much higher. Also, the reason I wanted to try was like Sonnet 4.5 is because it's really fast at turning around changes. So if we have the agent window and we're actively paying attention to the features it's launching and the code it's changing, if it starts to go off the line, we can go back and snap it back right to it. Claude Code now has this feature where we can snap back to a previous conversation and kind of throw everything else away, finally. So in Cursor, it's easier to do it through the user interface. So that's kind of why I was just kind of playing around with it here. So yeah, that's just a little bit of kind of what's transpired, and you're kind of you actually probably came at the perfect time where I'm actually shipping the features and stuff and doing this stuff live. And so as of now, I've liked what we have so far. I don't know if we're completely done with our implementation details. And so I just want to make sure I can double check everything, because I think we still have some to-dos here at the bottom. So it's verify the behavior. Oh, we got to check tablet and everything. So let me go ahead and sign out. Actually, I want to try Cursor's browser. Somebody talked about this earlier, so let's try that. So Cursor has a browser that's built in, and we should be able to just go to, I think, localhost 3000, right? Oh, I probably have to rebuild because I just checked stuff in. So let me just try again. Am I tripping? I don't think it's working right now. Oh no. What's going on? I don't think it's working, bro. I think I cooked it, bro. It's cooked. We're so cooked. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I thought there was a browser too. Unless my site is down. Let's just see. It's working. Yeah. Oh well. Let me just go and sign out. This is crazy. See, let me just refresh. Oh, I see. Okay. I'm going to tell it about this thing. So, and then another thing I wanted to do was try mobile. So this is crazy on mobile right now. Let's go. This is like an iPhone Pro Max. Let's just go iPhone plus size. Let's go iPhone, like iPad 11 inch. Nasty. This is nasty. iPad mini, the baby iPad. Yo, this is looking so sweet. iPhone SE. Dang, yo. Look at this animation though. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, this looks really good on the phone. I'm actually kind of blown away. Sheesh. Okay. As a hero, this is really good. And we hit sign in to start. I think this button. Okay. So we got a couple bugs to fix here. Let's go and do that. So the sign in to start in the header doesn't actually take us to the sign in page. So we should probably fix that. And what was the other thing? Oh yeah. There's another bug where when the site first loads, it seems to load the older version of the user interface with some example images. And then we show the 3 images or 4 images that are featured. If you can kind of review that code there and help me understand what could be going wrong, that would be super helpful. And so I think we're still going to use Claude Sonnet, or I wonder if I should switch over to Cheetah. Let's just go ahead and just stick with this type of thing. We have the context window already loaded with 126,000 tokens. So let's just go ahead and kind of go there. So we're still in these like verifying that everything loads correctly. So as of now, everything's kind of actually done. All we're doing is kind of like minor bug fixes and UI changes here. So that's really interesting. Let's go. I love that it's responsive without you having to mention it. We kind of mentioned it in the plan earlier. So I think in the plan, I was yapping about responsiveness, like with tablet, phone, and like desktop. And so that was already part of the plan. And once that was already mentioned in the plan, we're pretty much good there. So that's pretty awesome. Are you using the Elite Convex Starter Kit repo? I had some quite good results in the past and would be interesting in updated version. Yes, actually, Beta, you know what we should do? I should take that right now and just update it with Polar. Yeah, because right now it just has Clerk, and then I just have to comment one piece of the code out, and it no longer needs the Clerk Stripe integration, but we can still use Clerk and then add Polar in. I think I should probably do that in this like next session. I realize it's already 11:30. Holy smokes. We've been cooking. Yo, we got 65 people on YouTube. Let's go. 494 on X. Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Yo, keep it up, Ray. It's looking great. BridgeMind. Also, if you want to see someone cooking with AI, absolutely cooking, BridgeMind is the guy to do it right now. He is coding every single day. His app is trying to get to $1 million. He's almost at that 1K, I think 1K mark right now. It's like $700, $800. And he is really great at trying to explain everything for AI coding. We're going to eventually do a live stream together, and I highly suggest you check out BridgeMind there below. And yeah, I think it's just BridgeMind there on YouTube. He's also streaming on X. I think he's also streaming on Twitch as well. So that's kind of the way to check it out as well. Yeah. Because agent view is buggy. Got it from the main interface. Cursor back to the main. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Awesome. Also should try cooking with Ray. Yes. I think that's what bro, like we've been doing this for a hot minute. I just got the stream. Yo, yeah, man. We are just like blowing it away right now. So does this work now? Let's see. Okay, so it's gonna probably freak out. What did we do? Man, I was cooking so hard. Let's see. Did it actually do the right implementations with Clerk? If not, I'll just tell it to use the MCP to look up the Clerk stuff. I think that's what I'll do. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think what I'll do is just guide it to use the MCP, because I think it's going to freak out right now. Bundev. Yeah. I think I have a beta version, or I have early access version to, wow, this looks cool. Okay. Awesome. And then the sign into start button should work too now. Whoa. Wow. Okay. Ray cooks. Yeah. Nice. Okay. I like this little pop-up here. This is really, really nice. Oh, cool. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and see if I could just sign in with Google and then sign into my account. Because after we have this, now we're pretty much cooking here. So now that we have that set up with our landing page, you can kind of see how these designs kind of are playing around here. So yeah, this is looking pretty good so far. Hey man, that's cool. You know, I think there are people who hate, but they just kind of like block and kind of go away. And I think, you know what? Everyone has their own taste. There's like billions of people in this world. And I really highly encourage people to kind of like, you know, stick to your own tribe of people. And what I feel like I'm doing here for everyone is like, I'm starting a movement, really. Like, more people, and that's why I encourage BridgeMind and anyone who's doing any AI coding, like if you need any help, just like let me know. And like, I want to try to get more people to code and just turn on the camera, start talking live. Obviously it doesn't have to be all like professional, like with these nice lights and like studio vibes and anything like that. Just turn on your screen and just start kind of coding away. Coming together, we learn and share so much like of our best practices. Like I learned from watching people like BridgeMind. I learned from watching like Riley. I learned from watching literally everyone in the world. And I learned, that's how I actually got into software engineering. So I got into software engineering, you know, like over a decade ago plus. And it's because like other people took time to help me out, right? That's before like you can actually look up anything on YouTube that's useful, right? And when you're like breaking into the iPhone, there's nothing as far as any guides. You're just on your own, right? Playing around. So that's how I got in. I was just obsessed with the iPhone and like the Mac stuff, and understanding that, you know, after breaking a bunch of Windows machines and understanding how Windows works, right? Like just kind of this curiosity is really driving me. So I encourage you, if you're into AI streaming or any types of things, like to do this type of thing live. This is something that AI can't replace, as humans like us hanging out together and just trying to learn and share some sauce with each other. And help us grow, because I feel like this is so crazy. I'm so blown away right now. Aura.build, bro. Like, look at that. We transformed that into like our app. Like, okay, hold up. What is this? Okay, I'm getting too distracted right now. I can't. So I just signed up for Pro, and you know I'm about to be going crazy with all these components. Look at this code. I can just copy and paste this and put it. This is my portfolio right now, bro. Oh my goodness. So what's... Oh, stunning. How this Aura.build, do not sleep on this right now. Oh, I want more of these components. What is this? Bruh. What, oh, look at this gallery page. Wait, do we want this for the main gallery page? Maybe, huh? Oh, that's for this thing here. Okay. Whoa. What is this? Okay. Design is dangerous. Do not pay for this app. Do not go down this rabbit hole because you're going to be here for days looking at stuff. But people are going to look at your stuff and be like, this is not vibe coded, bro. Like, I don't know. I can't right now. Like, right? Like, this is crazy. Yeah, we went from this. Like, we went from this to, let's see, localhost 3000. Whoo! With like, how do you get these stars? Like, you can't just vibe code that. Yo, we just cook, fam. We just cook. Look at this, bro. Okay. Damn. And oh yeah, if you don't know, I think it's like, yeah, let me go ahead and sign in. Let me go sign in game. I can actually show what images are featured because I'm using Convex for the database. So all this stuff will actually show up in real time. And so the way that the app works a little bit, if you don't know, you basically just drop in an image. So like I could drop in like a thumbnail, for example, here with like this cool V0 design thing. Actually, I have some images. If I go to my desktop, I'll show you what this looks like. So if I go to sample images, so I'll drop in an image of like me, right? This is me eating. And so it'll probably get the food and stuff like that. And so when you upload an image, it's using the nano banana stuff and it does this background processing. And so as it's doing the processing, you see this is the original image, and then it'll basically choose something in the image to actually animate. So as of now, you can kind of see the animation kind of rolling in right now. So in this case, it basically chose my little mug and kind of did this like really cool, anime style type of thing. And here, it took my sandwich and like flipped the sandwich and like made this really cool drawing type of stuff. And then you can share it with your friends on X or something like that. So if I did share on X, now I actually have like a full on, check out my app on localhost, but when I push this app live, it's actually going to show the base URL, which is whatever the name of the app is, along with that type of thing. And so that's kind of that there. And so if you hit share settings, if I want to actually feature this in a public gallery, I can do that. And now it's going to be added to the public gallery. So whenever you go to the homepage now, like in localhost 3000, like we should be able to see like the image featured. And so that's kind of what I want to probably fix next for like bugs. I'm going to be like, hey, I added a new image to be featured in the featured gallery. It's not showing up. How can we fix that? Or what could be going wrong? So we're still in the context window pretty deep. I want to check these new changes in because we made some changes here for some of the fixes. So this looks like for the sign in button, we added the clerk sign in button stuff. And then for the gallery, we added show fallback images if the query is completed and returned empty. Okay. Oh, we have fallback images. I forgot about that. Okay. Load empty gallery. Okay. So that's what we did here. I'm going to go ahead and check these changes in real quick. And then, so every type of feature that I ship, I always try to check the code in before I move on to the next thing. It's just a really good way to kind of like secure everything down. And you get two different things, especially if you have the app on Vercel, is because then you push it to the build. And if there's any build failures there, you'll see them right away. And to check before you push it, if there's any build failures, you can just run bun run build, and that'll build it locally. And then if there's any errors, you'll see that. But because of our agent setup and everything, it does that automatically for us. And so we always get that, coming back. And usually everything kind of works when we push it up. So that's why you see that there. So I think there is a bug that I want to fix here, because when user toggles on an image to be featured, it's no longer showing up here in the featured gallery. And I'm just kind of wondering what query we're using to show this. As you know, there's also an admin view that's able to pull this information up. So if you can kind of look through my code base and try to see where this is breaking down and kind of think through all the different steps here to help me debug this. Okay, so I'm continuing here because we still have enough context window. and enough relevancy. And in essence, we're still kind of iterating on this feature because the code that we're touching is still kind of relevant in the context window. And we're with convex, it's basically a single query to grab this specific part of the featured images in my index. So that it should search convex my database and try to find where that query is at. So I'm just going to be really curious. So yeah, get public gallery is a function. And this is the query that it's doing, is featured and is disabled at featured at. So this is the exact piece of code. It already found it and is actually going to go through and update it right now. So now it's explicitly set for compound queries. Cool. It even got the root cause. This is great. The bug is in the, yeah, perfect. I could have done it better myself. Now it's running the build. See, it's actually doing the build for myself. And then it actually made a fix here. So ensure is disabled explicitly set for compound index queries. Okay, cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I think this is a regression because I remember on one live stream I was working on this and I changed the name because I wanted to do like a compound query here. And so I forgot to apply the changes to the rest of the app for this specific type of thing. And yeah, we're finding it through testing, basically. This is why you always want to test. Okay, build succeeded. Let's go and check this out. So now we should see, let me just refresh. Internal server error, of course. We have to rebuild the page. All right, so let me go back here and just kind of see localhost 3000. Localhost. Okay, so now that I see it, I only see 1, 2, 3. And then in here, I have an admin page /admin. Okay. So in the admin page, I see way more images. So like 1, 4, 8, 12. Okay. So I'm going to say that in the /admin page, I see 12 featured images. I'm going to put this up here as well. So that way you can kind of see what I'm typing. Oops. I'm going to make sure it's a, so what I'm doing now is basically doing a bug fix. So I see 12 featured images, but in the, so apparently there should be like a way for us to actually grab a web browser, and in the agent view, there's currently a bug, which is kind of not making it show up. So that's kind of why I'm doing this funny like dance around here. So, but in the hero page, I still only see a few. Okay. Is Claude Code now the best coding agent on the planet? So I don't know. I don't know about you, but I waste so many tokens in Claude Code, and that's the super annoying part. And so part of the reason why I was using Droid was because the same feature that took me 3 to 4 million tokens to use in Claude Code, in Droid Factory, it will only use like 1 million, not even 1 million, sometimes less than that. And so I have a 75% savings on my tokens. I know this sounds like a car insurance commercial, but like I have a 75% savings on my token insurance. Like, no, but when I use the factory Droid agent, I save crazy amounts of tokens because I don't consume that many tokens. And that's the difference between using it like in these different agents. And for those who don't know, the Droid from factory scored the highest, like beats out every other single model provider on using their own models, using their own agents, right? So Claude Code, GPT-5 Codex, whatever they're doing, like Droid is actually beating them out. And because they have their own way of context management, and then you can keep a single chat kind of going throughout the entire process. And it doesn't really eat up that many tokens, which is super handy and super useful. So they're extremely diligent about their caching. They're extremely diligent about managing the context. Also, if you use Claude, the Claude models, they have a specific way of actually like replacing files, like using, I think it's a string replace, versus like what GPT-5 does. And so like those are the differences, and they know them, where usually a single model provider like Claude Code only has a specific way of interacting with their model. And so sometimes people try to force other models into like a Claude Code environment, or they'll use GPT-5 and like, you know, like OpenAI type of thing. And it does actually make a difference as far as performance and writing things. So just a FYI. Yeah. It doesn't do that on AI Code King tests. It comes way below Code in his tests. What types of tests does AI Code King do for, you know, are they like, you know, writing features, shipping things? I'm just really curious. Like, and then what specific languages and platforms that are they using as well? Also curious because, yeah, there's a lot of different factors obviously involved in testing. So that's another thing as well. And I'm not saying like, you know, for my own, like, I would just say everyone should just try it out. I do have a referral link, by the way. If you haven't signed up for Droid, there is one here, https:// let me just make sure it's / is it Ray Factory? I forgot the link. I think this is a link. This will get you 40 million tokens if you've not signed up yet. If you click that link there below, that'll get you 40 million tokens to get started for free. So just go ahead and start using that. Check it out. Like if it works for you, great. If not, you don't lose anything. You just gain 40 million tokens. You don't have to, I don't think you even need a credit card to sign up. So you just sign up, check out that link. They had sponsored a live stream of mine, I think a couple weeks ago. And so I had the founders on as well. And we got to talk to the, about kind of how some of that stuff works. I really enjoyed using their product and I thought my users would as well. And so I said, hey, let's do a formal partnership, but I won't necessarily do this until like, if my friends and everyone can't code with me live. So instead of, normally whenever people sign up, they get 20 million tokens. They said like, let's just double that and give everyone 40 million tokens. So that link is still active, by the way. And if you haven't had a chance to sign out, you can still sign up for free. I don't get any commission from that link, by the way. So it's like literally people who sign up, you use it, like nothing happens as far as like me getting paid more money or anything like that. But I care more that you get to try out something and, not have to like waste a bunch of money to try something out. So like, for Aura.build, I had to pay my own money to try this out. And you're watching me use, the app live, and I'm getting value or not from it. And, I've had to pay like $300 to, Grok to test out the heavy model and to see if it's worth it as well. So that's like, I do these things because I really like to want to see and try out these tools as part of what I like to do here. And if I do partner with somebody like these types of folks, I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of too, because it's only fun when we can all code live together. So yeah, that's what's up. Oh, let's see. Yes, GLM. Okay, so I think I want to do a dedicated stream because I have to get going really soon. And I want to give GLM the space it needs because I want to try things for a couple of different things. One is for design. So like I would love for GLM to kind of take my design here and see if it can apply it to the rest of my app because I hear it's really good at design, right? The second part is like, can it take an inspired design and try to do some other like UI, UX interaction patterns? I want to see if can GLM understand those patterns that like Claude does? And if it does, that's what I hear it's really good at. So that'd be really cool to kind of test out. The best place to test that is actually going to be in Droid for me because I have tokens already there. And you can select that as a current model in there. So yeah, for those who don't know, by the way, if you don't even want to if you just want to use the Droid sauce that they have, you can bring your own keys. So you can bring your own API keys. You can use open source models. You can use another inference provider. You can use GLM with like your own, if you want to pay $3 a month and not pay, Droid, whatever it is. Droid GLM request is only half as many tokens. So you can actually get 80 million tokens if you just use GLM only with that link that I had. So as an FYI, but yes, I do want to actually check out GLM. And I think that'd be really cool because yeah, it is just $3. So which is so fire. So yeah, it's also, it's not multimodal. I forgot to say about that. Yes. I'm still cooking with the 40 million tokens shipped 2 apps. Damn. Bro, Mike, you are on fire right now. Okay. Let's just see what happened. I'm going to reboot my app here just to make sure everything's working. So what happened here? The root cause was a different query logic. Why some are missing. Okay. Click fix gallery visibility button in the header area. This will normalize all featured images. Oh, okay. So maybe there's okay. Yes. Let me just go ahead and fix this real quick. This is awesome. As an admin, I can fix this. Okay, so updated 9 images to be visible. Oh, sweet. Oh, let's go. This is awesome. Yo, this is crazy, yo. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. What? So like if I wanted to disable an image or something, so if I wanted to disable like this one, YOLO, bro. I can go back here because it's convex, right? Like this is crazy. It should, okay, hold on. Oh, undefined null or something. Oh, I did hit an error. I wanted to capture it. Let's see, did I capture it? Shoot. Hold on. Re-enable. Okay, disable. YOLO. So what happens? I just want to make sure I captured it correctly, right? So I want to re-enable this, and then I should go here. So I should be able to find that image in here somewhere. Okay, here it is. And then if I go back to here and disable it real quick, YOLO. Aha. Okay, so this is kind of, okay, so this is a really good bug. So the bug that I'm hitting is that if I disable an image as an admin, it basically crashes in the user interface, which is what I don't want. I want the page to automatically refresh. And so part of the magic of convex is that because it's so reactive, now I have another use case where I actually have to check to make sure the code can understand that these carousel of images can go away from right underneath it. And it should be reactive, and it should just kind of change to the next image instead of kind of doing what it's doing right now. So, okay, first of all, the code already works, whatever we have here, to use the new admin moderation. So there's a new normalized featured flag that has to be added to all my existing images. This is part of a migration, which is probably what's really interesting. And so now we've actually included that. This is basically a one-time thing, but it kind of fixed it for me. And I'm just going to check that code in. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just going to make sure I ship this next bug to fix, which is basically saying if the featured image gets disabled, I want to fix this crash. So this works great. Now we have a new bug where if the admin disables image, we see the following crash. And then paste this in here, and then cool. So now I should be able to fix it. Check out the Chrome extension, good tool to make changes in the front end. Yes, and send it back to cursor. Yeah, I have to check that out. But cursor's thing should work. There's an issue with the agent viewer. So in agent view, when I hit the browser, it doesn't really load my actual page, which is kind of a problem, but I think that'll be fixed probably in a future version. And I'll definitely let the team know about that. So here we are. So the reset selection state. So what I want to do is just kind of stop it real quick. And I'm going to say, I'm going to tell it to use the Ref.Tools MCP and Exa MCP to search and find the latest docs for convex, and make sure we are following the convex rules. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to try to see if I can force it to use the MCP just to make sure we aren't like doing any specific bloat here. So it's going to investigate what that looks like, and it's going to do the queries here. So use convex query reactive real-time updates. Perfect. I can see the issue clearly. When the query selectively updates, all the images array shrinks, but the selected index is the old value. That's exactly kind of what we're thinking here. And so now it's going to say, here's how we fix it here. I think it's just going to say the useEffect from React. And then it's going to say, yeah, this is kind of cool. Reset reactive updates from convex. Perfect. If the selected index is out of bounds, reset to 0. Okay, cool. So it's basically if the user's actually, this is a really rare edge case, but if the user is at that specific image and I disable it from the admin view, or if the user deletes the image basically from my server, they're just going to be reset back to the 0, which is pretty cool. So this is actually all reactive because convex is reactive that way. Stuff can change from the user interface. So if that index changes, that's why the crash happens, but we don't want it to crash on the front end. We want it to just kind of reset. So this is a really good actual bug here. I like this a lot, actually. It's a really good fix, actually, yeah. And I just give it some context as far as what it's doing. So the admin dashboard shows 12, and now it's 11, and even walks through the logic. Bro, this is so wild, bro. I'm not gonna lie, this is so good. Wow. Okay. I'm really liking Sonnet right now. I didn't think I'd like Sonnet that much, but it's a lot better when you give it this type of tooling. This is crazy. Okay. So now we can go back and reproduce this bug. So re-enable. So now it should come back and it should just show up at the end, I think, right? Yeah. Now it's showing up here at the end. Cool. And then I'm going to just disable it now. YOLO. So before I disable, let's go ahead and hit the disable button. I'm going to make sure the disable button is visible on the screen. Let's go ahead and try this now. Oh, we still fail. Do I have the right site loaded? I don't know. Let me see. Re-enable. So the re-enable brings it back, right? Yeah, here it is. Okay. And we have this here. Yeah, let's just go back to my sandwich one. I think this is my sandwich one, right? So if I hit disable, bro. Okay, yeah, it works. Cool. You see how it just disappeared? It just disappeared from the front. And if I go, oh my God. That's awesome. I love convex for this. I love convex, and I love like how we can just cook like this so good. So if I re-enable it, it's back. And if I re-enable it again, we're back. Let's go. We are cooking. We are cooking. Okay, man, we absolutely destroyed this live stream with this app. This is so cool. So we did a lot of things, and I just want to recap before I kind of check out with y'all. So we, number one, got to use the new agent window from Cursor. So the agent window basically allows us to focus specifically on the agent and all its different changes here. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. And this is the view to have our terminal integrated and kind of stop the agent if it's kind of going off its route, and then force it to go back on these things. The other thing we did was we checked out the Cheetah model. So the Cheetah model was really good at the very beginning for us to prime our context. As we scroll all the way back before we generated a plan, the Cheetah model is a stealth model currently inside of Cursor, and it's not available anywhere else. And so what's really interesting about the model is it's extremely fast. And that's what we did to ask some questions to give it some context of like, this is what we want to do and this is our intent. And we had it act like an architect, and it was able to go through a lot of our code and try to understand what it needed to do next. From there, we handed it off to Claude Sonnet 4.5. And in this little agent dropdown, we select plan mode. That turns yellow, and that's kind of where we started to really iterate on our plan. And we had to use those two MCPs called Exa MCP and Ref.Tools. Those were able to go look at Tailwind CSS and all the make sure that we're kind of complying with the changes that we wanted to do. And it kind of did that additional verification for us without flooding our context window, which is probably the most important thing. So all of these changes, all of the stuff that I did was 172,000 tokens for this entire session that we had in this entire stream. From the research from that additional model from the beginning to using the tool calling with Exa and Ref.Tools to like implementing the features and pulling that down from Aura.build. And what I liked about the plan mode is the fact that it was able to ask us additional questions here on like what specifically we wanted. And we threw it an additional curveball. So the curveball was like, hey, I actually want to redesign my landing page now that I think about it because I really don't like the user interactivity. So I threw it that curveball. Claude Sonnet took that in that plan mode and kind of regurgitated back a couple more questions to make things clear for us. And then after we did that, that's when it really kind of shined, because we then hit the build button, and with Sonnet 4.5, it just continued to build for us. And we're able to watch the build in real time while also like kind of inspecting, this is the plan here that it made for us, a really nice plan. And then after the plan, we're able to kind of take a look, you know, line by line and see what code changes are happening up here with the different files that it changed. So I find that super duper helpful for me because like I'm able to really kind of interact with my agents, which I really like to do. It keeps this front and center. It kind of doesn't really distract me. And then we still have this sidebar view to see all the different files that have changed in our app so that we can kind of like really quickly go to there. Because I don't know about you, when I scroll in the normal view, I can't scroll through all the different files. Here, it's just super helpful to see exactly what diffs have changed. And I really do appreciate that from the Cursor team and stuff. So while we had the context window loaded, the Claude Sonnet 4.5 model has a million token context window. The problem with me with GPT-5 and some of these other types of agents is that I have to hit new chats all the time to fix bugs. And sometimes it has to lose the context and regain that back in. And I don't know if you know this, but you're basically burning tokens to get to that state again. And Cursor is really good right now, as we can see with the new agent versions and everything, to keep that stuff in context without it kind of getting lost, which I actually really appreciate. This is a really nice change from the latest versions of Cursor. So using Cheetah, we just pretty much stayed on Sonnet 4.5 the entire time. And it was able to cook some files for us. Everything's kind of working. And then when I felt that things were a little bit out of place, I just kind of made sure to use Ref.Tools and Exa to tell it to go check the convex documentation and any other documentation that is relevant. It made some search queries, got some information back, and kind of stayed on track for us to fix a really good bug. And I felt like this is a really smart, intelligent change. We were able to move very quickly through fix, quite a bit of stuff, and with a little bit of grace there. So that's really, really cool. So this is kind of where we're at right now. We forked this project called Drip Me Out. We're now using this thing called Anime Studio. And so we have this really great gallery where as users upload the gallery, if they want to feature them, they can be featured here. And in my admin view, I can disable them if I don't feel like they're, meeting a specific spec. In the future, I'll probably do something where I'll have, somebody probably review it, like with Google Gemini or something like that to make sure that everything's kind of safe. But as of now, this is pretty much just like where we're at. Obviously, you could even start paying for this if you wanted to, but it's currently in a sandbox. So the sandbox environment doesn't really go anywhere, as far as like credit card charges and stuff like that. So that's really, really crazy. I'm loving the UI from Cursor. It's really nice. It's really, really good. Oh yeah, let me get you the links to the MCPs right now. So Ref.Tools. This is the first one. Let me put this into the actual chat so you have this. And the second one is called Exa.ai. So Exa.ai. So these are the two that you need right now. So this one is this one. So with those two tools, you should absolutely cook. And I think if I check my usage right now, let's see if I can go back here. Can I? Yeah. So over here, I should be able to check the usage for Exa and we'll see how much usage it's used up. So I'm just going to refresh this. So it's 55 cents before we started this and it's still 55 cents. Really? That's crazy. We haven't even spent that much. Wow. Bro. That's kind of crazy cheap, actually. Huh. I wonder if the billing period hasn't rolled over yet or something. And then as far as Ref.Tools, yeah, if I go to the dashboard, I've used up 173 credits. Yeah, so like I haven't really used that many credits today. So if I go to activity, yeah, just from today's session, it was 1, 2, 3 tool calls. Awesome. Yeah, we did the Tailwind and then the convex use query for reactive updates. And then Tailwind CSS, latest conventions and background for beautiful. This is awesome. And you can see the other stuff I did here. So like this was like reading files from the AI Gateway. So this was yesterday. I made a video on this. This video will be dropping soon. So if you're interested in seeing a smaller version of this live stream, I have a video dropping soon on specifically this exact like similar workflow that we did today. But I also have another one on getting the MCPs installed. So I'm going to make a dedicated video on that. I'm just going to take clips from this live stream as far as, how the results and stuff like that happen. And then this live stream, at the end of this live stream, I'm going to have some timestamps currently powered by VibeStamps. So that was the first app we were checking out. After this live stream's over, I'm just going to get everything transcribed using RayTranscribes.com. Another plug for my own stuff. If you want to support, check it out. I actually found out you can get search engines love, transcripts. And if you upload them to your videos, especially with the right keywords and stuff, they start scraping them and they actually start showing up in searches. So a lot of times YouTube's own transcription service will change GPT to GB, like with the B. And then so when people are searching it up, you actually don't get discovered. So you can actually get discovered if you have timestamps and these types of things in your videos. So more on that a little bit later, but like that's kind of what we're working with right now. So we absolutely cooked with this whole setup here. And Aura, oh yeah, Aura.build, Aura.build. This is another one here. I don't get any affiliates or commissions or anything like that, but whatever. Like I want you all to cook with this stuff. This is how you take your designs and it's like you turn into a design studio this way, bro. You can just vibe. The models are so good these days. If you tell like Ref.Tools with Exa to use Tailwind v4, here's some code, like make sure it stays converted and make sure it complies with the thing, create the plan, you're going to blow it away. And we haven't even got to, oh my God, this is, okay, I'm going to get distracted. I got to stop. I can't. If I see another design, I'm just going to get like, look at the way this thing's dripping though, bro. Look at this. What? Who does this? Oh my goodness. Okay. I need to stop right now because I got to go. It's 12 o'clock. I got to go to lunch. and I'm getting so distracted right now. But yeah, I just want to leave y'all with that. We cook so hard right now. Obviously, if y'all are on the tubes, y'all need to know what to do with this. And then also just share it with a friend. I think this is going to be super helpful if you have that. Timestamps are going to be available after the stream. Check out Ray Transcribes if you want to check that out. So RayTranscribes.com. I want to tell you a little bit about this before we head on out. So this is something I made basically last year and I vibe coded it like live. And this is like one of my first vibe coded apps that we're actually turning into like a production app. Now it's hooked up with, Stripe, Convex, and all this cool stuff, clerk authentication. But I made this and I discovered that you can actually start getting ranked on YouTube on Google and all these different places if you actually have the transcripts with the right words in them. And so as soon as you do it in here, you can get like a 2-hour live stream transcribed super fast, and you get that available. So I'm adding more features in so that you can actually have like, like timestamps are going to be available. The stuff from blog post stuff. I have this other stuff that are going to be landing very, very soon. So I've been working on some of these features. They've been cooked pretty decently now. I've converted all my stuff over to the new AI SDK. I've been going crazy like refactoring this, but I want to make sure it's ready for production. So those are going to be landing pretty soon. Also, yeah, if you want to try it out, let me know as well. I got you, fam. That's kind of what it is. Without all that, I really appreciate everyone who's been able to kind of join me on this whole movement for live stream and AI coding. I think we're doing something really special here, and I encourage anyone who's into like streaming, or even if you're not streaming, if you've never done it before, just go ahead and share back, like turn on your camera, share with the community, try to connect with other people, because I'll probably be there to support you as well, because I feel like it's really hard to just turn on the camera and talk to other people and engage, and I want to provide this type of outlet for everyone to kind of hang out with. If you're interested in joining the Discord, that's there below. I also have a one-to-one type of special right now. If you're like tired of generating like AI slop, or you don't really know what your output is, or you just kind of need a little bit of guidance, for right now, I'm going to have it in the description of this video. It's called the 101 Intensive. So for 5 days straight, you get to work with me, and it's 1337 basically. And so we'll sit down for like 30 minutes each day for 5 days in a row and make sure that we can get you unlocked, whether you need help configuring an MCP, a documentation workflow, getting some stuff configured in Cursor or these different CLIs, whatever it is. And if you're not satisfied with it, you basically get your money back, which is really awesome. But it's your chance to kind of sit down with me to work one-on-one. I only have a limited number of slots. I have a couple slots that are opening this week and next week. And then the beginning of November, the price will double from there, by the way. So if you haven't had a chance, feel free to check that out. That's currently in the description. I'll probably drop something into the chat if you want to check that out right now. I think it's https://rfr.me/1337. So that's where you can check out the intensive. This is like a really special one-to-one type of thing that I'm only doing for a short period of time and for the next couple of weeks, because I'm going to be really busy in November. So that's the couple slots are open right now. And then once it's sold out, it pretty much, I'll turn that thing off. And for November, I'm going to lock in a little bit for a couple of weeks and then reboot the thing back up for the end of November, beginning of December, and so forth. So definitely feel free to check that out if you're interested in kind of working on me one-to-one. I feel like I work a lot better that way. I know a lot of people have a lot of questions, and I can't get to everyone on Discord because I have a lot of stuff going on. But the Discord has a great community, by the way, of people who are wanting to build. So you can also get into there. So the rfr.me/discord, if you want to go ahead and do that. So https://rfr.me/discord. So that's probably another way for you to kind of get configured. So a couple different ways to interact. One is kind of like in a group community setting there in the Discord. And then the other one is kind of one-to-one with me. So that way we can kind of bang things out. Because like I feel like if you're ready to go, I'm here. And this stuff is changing so fast. And I can't wait to play. I can't wait to get off the stream to go get some food, catch up with my friend and stuff, but then like get back into the design and all this really cool stuff that I like to do. So I appreciate you guys hanging out and coding with me live. You guys are the best, and much love, y'all. Peace.